Hey friends, Zen Kuni here, and I have a couple of sticks. So these are kind of fancy dancy staffs that I've acquired through the years. This one for like almost 40 years now I've been using. But anything will work. So a couple of limbs from a tree that you found out in the forest, or a couple of broom handles or shovel handles or something like that, any of those things will do the trick. What we're going to do is use these as a way of creating a regression for getting up and down from the ground. Again, this goes along with my series that I'm doing to help people regain the strength of their legs after an injury, or because they've just gotten so sedentary that they just haven't gotten up and down from the ground. So staffs give you some additional assistance. So if we start with two right out in front, and then we just go into a tactical lunge, then we can use our arms. We can actually bring them in closer, and we can just use our arms. I'm going to push straight down with my arms as I push back with my heel of the rear foot to push me up and back. So it's really, I'm thinking more of back and up. So I'm just going to do that for a few repetitions. So one of the other things that tends to go with people as they get sedentary is they also lose their grip. So this also helps with the grip. So let's do it on the other side too. So kneel all the way down so the knees touch it. And then you're just going to push that rear heel back to push you up. And you push the sticks, push the earth away with the sticks. So you want to be engaged all the way through. Good. All right. So that gives you a beginning movement to do with a pair of sticks. Now you can also do a few other things. So for example, you could use them as your additional assistance as you're getting used to going from one leg up to the other leg up. So without the sticks, you can just put your hands on your hips at first, and you go back and up and up, and then reverse it. So that's another way of doing it. Now you can also do that with arms out to the side or arms overhead. So another thing you can do with your staff is take your staff, you're going to put it right in the middle of the bicep, bring it around, you're going to take a lunge out, you're going to put the staff inside the thigh here, you're going to reach up with this arm and just do a nice little rotation as you're in that lunge. Because remember, when we're strengthening ourselves, we want to be strengthening the entire body, not just one part. We don't want to isolate, we want to include. We want to integrate. Now if you can't reach this hand over, that's okay. You can just do it this way. You'll see you get a little bit more range of motion at one level in the shoulder, but this way you also start to get the lats, obliques. Of course, you'd want to do that on the other side. So just change sides. So here you are. Get your other leg forward. Come down into a lunge position. I have the stick right at the middle of the bicep, on the side of it, of course. And so here's our basic move. And then reach up and over. Grab the staff, and oh yeah. Also, when I do this, I get even more opening up here in the front of the hip. So inhale and exhale. Okay, so that's another thing you can do. Now, let's assume that you only have one staff or one stick. You can put that right in the front, interlace your fingers, put your thumbs on top of the stick, and do this same reverse lunge, and just pushing the stick down to help you come up. You'd be surprised at how having the stick gives you a little bit more comfort in doing your get up and get down. Okay, makes it a little bit easier. Now another movement is to take a wider stance. So we'll go ahead and take our staff. We're going to put it out to the side. I'm going to keep the one leg straight. I'm going to bend the other leg, bend towards it, and reach my arm out and rotate that arm as far as I can. So I'm exhaling, inhale. And then just change, go to the other side. Now you're going to keep the opposite leg straight, reach the staff across, bend this leg. Think of it so the knee is bending, the hip is going back, and the knee is going out to the side more, so it's coming more over the foot. Get your staff out in front and start your rotations. And you can adjust where you put your staff. You can put it out at a little bit more of a diagonal. That makes it a little easier. Or you can put it farther to the side, and that will give you a little bit more of a stretch. Now what you want to realize is as you're doing this, you're not just stretching muscles along the back and the side, but also down here in your hips, strengthening your knees, all part of the process. Now also with one hand, or one stick, hold it in just the one side that you're going to step back with. So it acts just like a cane, right? So if you just put it on the opposite side. Now let's say that, like many people, you have one leg that's stronger than the other. It's very common. One arm is stronger, one leg is stronger. So what you do is you use the stronger side to teach the weaker side, or the less coordinated side. So for example, I've had motorcycle injuries to my left knee, really severe ones, martial arts injuries, and climbing injuries, all to my left knee, all right? So that being said, I've healed all of that to a point where I can do all the primal nature play I want to do. However, it's still not as strong as my right leg, right? There's just some ligament damage and stuff like that, so the sinews are a little bit weakened on that side. So I start with my opposite side, my right side, all right? I'm gonna step down and back, and I'm going to note how that feels. What sensations am I feeling, and what muscles am I using? Then I'm gonna put the staff on the opposite side, on my left side, and I'm going to model that behavior that I did on the right as closely as I can. Then I'm going to come back. So the teacher teaches again. And then change. Student learning. Teacher teaches. Student learns. Now, student practices. And teacher refines. Student practices what the refinement was. So that's one way that you can go about it if you have a single staff or a double staff actually, but it will just make it more obvious and clearer to you if you're doing one side and then the other, starting with the side that you do it the best on, and then letting the other side be the student learning from the teacher. So those are a few ideas for you to use with a stick or sticks to assist you in getting up and down from the ground.